Welcome to another episode of Talk with Confidence. This is where we have inspirational conversations with inspirational people. Today I have an inspirational person in studio with us. His name is Nnusi Gazi, and he's the founder and chairman of the Nnusi Gazi Foundation. Mr. Gazi, welcome.
My good sir, thank you very much.
Thank you for gracing us with your presence, man. We really appreciate it.
It's only a pleasure, and I feel honored to be here.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, I want to talk about a couple of things today.
Okay.
I love what you do, by the way, in terms of the foundation. I believe there's a quote that says, success is not measured in the amount of dollars you make, but the amount of impact you have on people's lives.
True.
Yeah, and just heading from that, can you tell us a bit about the foundation?
Yeah, look, the Nnusi Gazi Foundation was started, I think, officially 8 years ago. We've been registered for 8 years now, and the reasons really behind what we're doing, or our core purpose, if I may call it that, is that we really believe that none of us are self-made. You know, none of us are here because of our own doing, but we're purely here because somebody paid it forward for us.
Yeah.
So the foundation was established and really started, against the backdrop of, we believe that we have a social responsibility, towards our own society. And then for us, it was really about making a difference in our communities.
So what was the initial inspiration for the foundation?
For me, it was very personal, because I lost my parents when I was 18 years old when my mom passed away, 19 when my dad passed away, and I've got an older brother who's 4 years my senior. The youngest child in the house was 1 year and 2 months when my mother passed away, and then 1 year 10 months when my dad passed away. Wow. Because I grew up in a childhood home, and society called me an orphan, I understood and I understand even today the challenges that come with coming from a childhood household, and I know the challenges that come with growing from that household, and also, the struggles that you go through, as a child, because you went to bed today as a child and woke up the following day as a parent.
Yeah.
So it's a big
transition.
Yeah, it's a big transition, and so for me the inspiration was. Because I understand how it feels like not to have parents, and I know the challenges that come with that. For me, it was important that I paid for it, because somebody enabled me to be where I am today. So I said to myself, I need to ensure that the next child who comes after me doesn't have to struggle or doesn't have to deal with the challenges that I dealt with. So that is really the biggest inspiration behind why we started the Nnusi Gazi Foundation.
And in terms of who you target, or who you target as people that you want to help, you want to empower, is there? I mean, you spoke about child-headed homes. Yeah. Is that a specific group of people that you target in terms of helping and assisting?
Look, child-headed household and orphanage homes are primary to what we're doing, and purely because it was it was where we started, and because it's a personal thing for me, for me it was that, but along the way, the more we grow, the more we evolve, we've been able to see that the challenge is bigger than just a child-parent household, or the challenge is bigger than just an orphanage home, because there's kids that are saying, well, my parents are alive, but they can't afford to help me with whatever in this. So what we've ended up doing now is saying yes, child-parent households and orphanage homes are our primary focus areas. However, if there's a need that comes from somewhere else, and we think that we've got the abilities to be able to assist them, we'll gladly do so. Because 2 years ago, I got a call on a random day from a lady that said to me, listen, I've got a neighbor whose child suffers from cerebral palsy. They need a new wheelchair. That is generally completely way out of what we're doing. But because we understood, the challenges that the child was facing, we ended up getting involved, and that opened the doors for other, requests that came through, to say, oh, I know of a child who has got the same condition, and we don't know how to assist them. So we've been able to juggle a few things around. However, child-headed households and orphanage homes become very primary and very key to what we're trying to achieve.
You were saying off air that something like this is you don't want people to think, or no, this is a Nnusi thing.
Yeah.
You say there's a team behind you. Can you tell us a bit about that team?
Yeah, look, so Nnusi Gazi Foundation was started by by 4 friends, essentially. So we were sitting around like this, and I said to them, guys, I think we need to do more, because prior to this, prior to registering the foundation, I used to collect school shoes, and it was a thing that I had, to say, children need school shoes, and I partnered with another company, so we were collecting school shoes. So along the way, we realized that if parents can't afford school shoes, there's more that they can afford.
Yes, there are other issues. Yes.
So I then said to my friends, listen, I think we need to do more, right? And for me, doing more was saying to 4 of my friends, let's take 1 child to school. And I can tell you that from that conversation, 1 child became 4 children that we went to take to school.
Yeah.
We went to a school and said to them, we need 4 children that we can, assist. And the school gave us 12 children at a go. You can't turn back the other 8.
No.
So we then said, okay, let's see what we can do. There's 12 children. And the number grew from 12 to, I think, 20 that year. And then today we're sitting at 349 kids.
Wow.
And it will grow by the end of the year to almost 600. But yeah, so there's a team that I work with. So this started with 4 people. And then as we grew, I now have a board that I report to of 7 people, and then from that board, we also have got about 855 volunteers that are active, in the things that we're doing. Needless to say that these people, for me, they are the backbone of the foundation, because without the 7 board members that I have and the 855 volunteers that we have as a foundation, we wouldn't be here, and we wouldn't have done the things that we've done.
Wonderful. I mean, for the initiatives that you're undertaking, resources are needed.
Yes.
Whether it's taking kids to school, there's school fees to be paid. Whether it's collecting shoes, there's money that has to go out.
Yeah.
In terms of financial backers or financial partners, is it just among your board members, or do you go out and seek funding from external organizations?
Yeah, look, we for the past 8 years, we've never really had a corporate sponsor, if I can call it that. And the things that we've achieved today have been purely based on people saying, I've got 200 rand, I've got 1,000 rand, I've got 500 rand. So our successes, to date, it has been purely based on people being able to say, I've got shoes, or I've got money, or I've got a car that you can use, or I've got 100 rand that you can put towards buying the things that you need to buy. And I think that is the one thing that makes me very humbled, because I mean, our success to date, is really dependent and really relied on the people that we call, friends of the foundation.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I mean, in 8 years, I imagine there are some stories that stand out of maybe particular, like maybe the child you're speaking of with cerebral palsy, and you helped them with the wheelchair. Are there other similar stories that have stood out in the 8 years that, when you look at that story or when you hear of that story, you say, this is why I'm doing this thing?
Look, there's plenty of them. I think we have touched, if my numbers are still accurate, it's 349 kids that we've taken to school, 96 orphans that we've adopted, and 13 child-headed households that we've assisted.
Wow.
So I think each and every single person that I've interacted with throughout the journey, has had an impact in my life as a person, in our life as an organization.
Yeah.
But I think the one story that really, really stood out for me, I think it was back in 2012, 2013. We had gone to a school in Rustenburg, and we wanted to help them with the metric dent stuff. So we then went around, collected metric dent stresses, and we focused mainly on metric dent stresses. And then one guy came and said, no, I've got a suit that I've never worn. I bought it, but I've never worn it. So we then took the suit. We went to the school called Marikana Combined High School. And there we had identified things about 14 children that we wanted to give these metric dent stresses to. So of course we did. And then another guy came and says, well, we then said, listen, we've got a suit, so let's see if it will fit you. So it needed a bit of an alteration, which was fine. But I had forgotten about that whole experience, because there's so many of them that we've done. One incident really, I completely forgot about it. So we gave these kids metric dent stresses. They had the makeup and hair done before for their metric dents, and we went our way. A few months later, minding my own business, walking around the mall, this guy comes to me and greets me, and I said to him, "I don't remember you," which is true. And then he said to me, "It's fine. I will always remember you." And I said to him, "But why is that?" He says, "Because you came to my school and you gave me a suit,
Yeah.
and enabled me to go to my matric dance.
Yeah.
And from that whole experience, I've now gone back and I'm working.
Wow.
And what I've committed to doing is buying 3 kids school uniform every year.
Wow, man.
So that for me,
That's powerful.
that for me is the biggest thing that anyone could have ever done for me personally.
Yeah.
Because what I need in return is not for you to come to me and say thank you.
Yeah.
I don't need for people to stand up and clap for me when I walk through the building. But what I need to see happening is if I've helped you in any way, you go do the same thing for the
Help
next
others.
person. Because that is why we exist. We exist because we want to pay it forward. So if you can see one person that you've helped helping 3 other people, and those 3 other people helping 3 other people, that for me I think that story stands out for me every single time.
And the amazing thing is that he's going to go and help others,
Yeah.
who will then help others. So it's exponential.
Yes, so
you send a ripple that creates other ripples.
Yes, so it's for me it's the dominus effect. I think we've helped one person helped 3 people, 3 will help 9 will help 27, and the numbers will grow from there. So and that is why we exist, and that's what we're trying to achieve with the things that we're doing.
All right. So I said we're going to talk about a couple of things.
Sure.
And one of the things that I want to talk about is what you started with. You said, at 18, 19, you lost both your parents.
Yep.
But there were people who stepped in. Can you talk about those people and the impact they had on you personally?
Yes, and we grew up in a society, or we grew up in a society that has taught us that it takes a village to raise a child.
Correct.
Right? And this saying is very true in my life, because when both my parents passed away in the same year, my community, which were my neighbors, the neighbors on the left and the right, in front opposite and back opposite, were there, and at no point did we feel like we were orphans. At no point did we feel like, well, our parents are gone, we're all on our own. But it became an issue of saying, yes, my biological mother or my biological father is not here, but other people that I regard as my other parents, have been able to be here, and that for me has been the most important thing. And there's a lot of people that I can mention. That have really played a role in my life. There's a guy that gave into my life, and giving is not money. He did not give me money to say, here's 1,000 rand, go do this. But this man gave me time. He sat with me and gave me counsel about boy stuff. Whenever I needed, clothes, he would go out of his way to get me clothes. Whenever I came home from school with my school report, he would ensure that he looks at it.
Wow.
And that for me is what giving is all about. When somebody says to you, come, let's sit down, then let's look at your school report and see where you're doing well and where you're struggling, and how can we then help you. For somebody to come and sit with you and really, take you through life's lessons, or give you counsel, as a parent, because I think all that children want, or all that people want is your attention, and knowing that somebody believes in them.
Wow.
And various people played various roles in my life, and they've given in various ways, and that's why for me it's important that I go back and I give, because I think the biggest thank you that I can give to the people that are given to my life is for me to give to the next person and pay it forward.
Wonderful, wonderful. You touched on something that I want us to dig into. Okay. A lot of times when you talk of giving, immediately we think, I must reach down into the pocket. Yeah. But you said something quite powerful. You said, the most important thing you can actually give is time. Yeah. And in terms of the volunteers, you said you've got about 850. What is their motivation? I mean, I'm guessing most of them is not about taking out money, it's about time. What are their stories? What are the common stories that you hear amongst them? Why are they doing what they're doing?
Look, the stories vary from one group to the other group. But if I can group it quickly, so other people are saying we don't have the time to go look for places to give to. One, so the movement that you've started enables us to come. Yes. Yeah. So because we don't have the time to go identifying homes that we can go give to. Nnusi Gazi Foundation exists, and we're able to piggyback on what they're doing and give whatever we want to give, whether this thing is money, whether this thing is time, whether this is clothes or whatever it is. So we're able to give into this vehicle or this movement that already exists. Other people, they do what they do because they believe in the same vision that I have, right? Yeah. And which is paying it forward. Other people do it because we have come to understand that there's something about giving, that liberates your soul. There's something about giving that sets you free as a person. So other people do it because they've got a social responsibility towards their own communities, and they feel like this movement that exists enables them rather, to be able to fulfill, that mandate that they have.
The sense of purpose.
Yes. So there's a purpose that they live for, but they have not been able to. They are not able to do it themselves.
To express it.
Yes. So if they find platforms where they can do that, they'll gladly jump in and do it.
There's a quote I love. It says, I think it's by Mother Teresa, maybe may stand to be corrected. It says, nobody has ever become poor by giving, which is a beautiful adage.
Which is true.
And I mean, when you give, they say, given it shall be given unto you. And I mean, as you're speaking, I'm sensing there's a lot of fulfillment that comes from what you do.
Look, I think I'm very careful not to call what I do charity, because it's not charity, right? I call it human service, because I've understood that I understand that I'm a servant to the next person, and the fulfillment that comes with being a servant is that when you see the people that you're serving living their best lives, that is the biggest reward that anyone can ever give to you. And for the years that we've been doing this, not a single day goes by without me losing my mind and just crying my eyes out after every single. I mean, we've been doing a lot of these events, but the feeling that I get is exactly the same. So at no point do I walk in and walk out the same person that I was. Every single time, whenever there's an engagement, I walk out and I'm all teared out. I cry myself silly, and not because I'm sad, but because I've seen a smile on one person's face, who appreciates the efforts that you've done for them, or the efforts that you've taken in ensuring that they are happy. And I think that is what sets my soul and the souls of other 855 people on fire, and because if that was not the case, we would not be doing the things that we're doing today.
Wonderful. You said it's 8 years now since you started the foundation. Can you paint the picture of the foundation in 10, 15, 20 years' time? What do you envision?
8 years ago, I was asked this question, that where do I see the foundation in the next 5 years? And my answer 8 years ago was that I want to see one child going to school. That for me was the ultimate, to say, in the next 10 years, I want us to see a child that we've took at grade 2 doing matric this year. Yes. Or I want to see a child that we adopted at grade 4, doing their second year university. That vision is still the same, but where I see the foundation going to and which is something that we are slowly but surely realizing, is where we are teaching people how to fish. Because it's not about us coming to you and giving you, but it's about the foundation coming to say, we've identified what your needs are. We will do our part to meet that need, but as part and parcel of us fulfilling that need that you have is giving you the skills to be able to go and fend for yourself. And one of the things that we're looking at doing, as part of our 10th year anniversary, which is the next 2 years, would be to create a platform where we're able to employ the people that we're assisting. And part of employing them, so they'll get salaries, and the salaries will go towards ensuring that they live comfortable lives. If we can employ them, we'll help them find places where they could be employed. So that is where we want to see the foundation going, and obviously we would want to grow the numbers of the people that we're assisting. Would love to increase the volunteers that we have, and hopefully be in a position where the foundation is self-sustainable, because it defeats the purpose if I'm taking money out of my pocket every single day to help, because then what's the bloodline, or how then are we ensuring that
sustainability?
Yes. So what we're looking at, one of the things that we're looking at doing is finding ways of ensuring that we're generating money for the foundation that will enable the foundation to exist all on its own and be self-sufficient, so that even tomorrow when Nnusi is no longer there, the foundation still exists, because Nnusi was not
the primary funder.
Yes, so that's it. We started this campaign last year, and we are getting the mechanisms right. It's a trial and error type of a thing, but that's the vision that we have. To saying by 2020 we need to be in a position where the foundation functions all on its own,
self-sustaining,
and then it does not need confidence to be. To exist. It does not need a Nnusi to exist, but it needs, all of us as a collective to ensure that it's running itself.
Wonderful. I mean, the vision is powerful. What you guys are doing is amazing.
Thank you.
If there are organizations, business people, or just everyday people who want to partner with you, they say, you know what, I love what you're doing. I want to help you with the mission and the vision. How can they get hold of you?
Look, we are always open to to receiving any sort of assistance. If you need to get hold of us, our email address is info@nnusigazifoundation.co.za. You can give us a call on 076 045 6420. Those are the two contact details that we have at the moment. Our website is currently down because it's being revamped. But yeah, so those are the two platforms. And also on social media, I think Instagram, no, we don't on Instagram. Twitter is @Gazi Foundation, and Facebook it's Nnusi Gazi Foundation.
Wonderful. There's a quote by Jim Rohn. He says, whatever great things we build end up building us.
Yeah. I truly believe that.
And anybody who wants to partner with these guys, because as you help to build, it will be building you as well.
Yeah.
Mr. Gazi, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Awesome. That was inspirational. I'm touched. I'm inspired. I'm sure you're inspired as well. And that was Talk with Confidence, conversations that inspire. Do tune in again next time right here on Global Conference Television, 8